Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies course, I'm creating a series of video presentations based off of the Mozilla Developer Network's Learn Web Development series. We are in server-side website programming, Express Web Framework, Node.js-JavaScript, and we're in Part 6, working with forms. Part 6, we've done the intro, is then broken up into 6 sections and then a challenge yourself. So now that I'm looking at that, I want to add one more onto this. All right, so we're here. We're under this second part. So we're going to create the genre form right now. We're going to create these 4 forms, then do a delete form, and then ourselves, we're supposed to go and create the genre, the book, and the book instance delete form. So this subarticle shows how we define our page to create genre objects. This is a good place to start because the genre has only one field, a name and no dependencies. So we're starting slow. Like any other pages, we need to set up routes, controllers, and views. To use the Express Validator, we have to require the functions we want to use from the Express Validator module. So let's open up our genre controller and add this at the top of the file. I don't know what's open from here anymore, so I'm just going to close everything. And then open. All right, there's our genre controller, and at the top we're adding that. All right. Again, I'm a little anal about putting in line breaks or not putting them in. All right, this syntax allows us to use the body and the validation result as the associated members. As you will see in the post section below, it is equivalent to doing this. Find the exported genre, create get, and replace it with the following code. There it is. This renders the genre form pug view passing a title variable. All right. Next, find the exported genre create post and replace it with the following code. Remember, get is basically what we're going to do to bring the form up, and post is what we're going to do when we want to submit that out to the server. So again, this is the genre create post, which is right here. All right. The first thing to note is instead of being a single middleware function, the controller specifies an array of middleware functions. That array is passed to the router function, and each method is called in order. That's what they're showing in here. And remember, this is the simplest one because it has the fewest fields. This approach is needed because the validators are middleware functions. The first method defines a body validator body that validates and sanitizes the field. Uses trim to remove any trailing and leading spaces. And in the past, what people had done when they were filling out forms, even though they shouldn't do stuff like this, is when you had a required field, they would just hit space once or twice. So it would act like there was something in there. So what trim does is it removes any leading or trailing spaces. So if my name had space, Jeffrey space, P space, Scott space, it would remove the 2 spaces at the beginning, the 3 at the end, but it would not remove any spaces between my first name, middle initial, or my middle initial and last name. After specifying the validators, we create a middleware function to extract any validation errors. We use the isEmpty to check if there were any errors in the validation result. If there were, we render the form again, passing our sanitized genre object in an array of error messages. If the name is valid, we check if a genre with the same name already exists. You don't want any duplicates. If it does, we redirect the existing genre's detail page, and if not, we save it and we redirect to its detail page. The same pattern is going to be used in all of the post controllers. We run validators with sanitizers, then check for errors and either re-render the form with error information or save the data. All right. The same view is rendered in both the get and post controllers and routes when we create a new genre, and later on also when we update a genre. In the get, the form is empty and we just pass the title variable. In the post case, the user has previously entered invalid data in the genre variable. So we pass back a sanitized version, and in the errors variable, we pass back an array with those in there. So we want to create a genre form pug under views. So there that is. And we want to open up that blank file and then add this. As mentioned down below, most of this will be similar from our previous tutorials. We extend the layout, all right, then we go in and we put our own block content in there. All right, we have a heading with a title right there. Next, we have the pug code for our HTML form that uses post. So we're setting up the form right here to send data to the server. And because the action is an empty string, we will send the data to the same URL as the page. The form defines a single required field of type text called name. The default value of the field depends on whether or not the genre variable is defined. If called from the get, it will be empty as it's a new form. If called from the post, it will be invalid because it's already in there, I believe. The last part of the page is the error code. This prints a list of errors if the error variable has been defined. In other words, this section will not appear when the template is rendered on the get route. This is just one way to render the errors, and there are others. So we should run the application, open here, and go to the Create New Genre link that's down here. All right, after we enter something, it should be saved. So let's check. In fact, yeah, we're back here. So let's refresh, go back to home, create new genre. How about sports? And submit. All right, and it's saying that we've got that. So if we go to all genres, there's sports. And again, there's nothing in it yet. There wouldn't be because we haven't put any books in. All right. The only error we validate is that the genre field must not be empty. It shows below what would happen if we put nothing in and tried to submit. Let's try that. Genre name required, and there it is. Our validation uses trim to ensure that white space is not put in there. What happens if we come in and try to put in sports again? All right, so let's take a look at, I think it just pushed us out to that genre. it didn't put it in there twice. So if we try to create a new genre and we put in fantasy, which already exists, it pushes us out to fantasy. That's exactly what we'd expect to have happen. All right. That finishes our genre form. So next, we will come in for our create author form, and we'll create that in the next video.